Okay, folks. So welcome to our first novel. Now we are starting off with with a bit of a banner here. We're starting off with the night novel. There's the novel as you can see. You have this. It's a physical book. If for some reason you don't have it, I have a list of files here. One of these is the actual full text. So for some reason you don't have it, there it is. Anyways, so this is about a young boy surviving the Holocaust, and I please. So before I go into the assignments, please listen to what I'm saying because this is what I'm looking for this entire module. We're going to be reading some horrific things. For context, in the first few pages, we're going to be reading about how our main character watches his father get beaten to death. He's going to watch that, and he's going to be mad about it. But he's going to be mad at his family. He's mad at his family because they're getting beaten to death. He's not mad at the people doing it. He's not mad at society. He's not mad at the war or Hitler or anything. He's mad at his family. What does it take to do? What does it take to get to that mindset? He's gonna have to do some horrific things to survive. That he's gonna feel deep shame over, deep shame. And one of the things, and so like when we're looking at stuff, like for example, I'm gonna go into that shame thing. When we're looking at shame, the questions we're thinking about is it okay that he, is it, why is he shamed? Why is he ashamed? That we want to go deeper than that. Is it okay that he does feel ashamed? Is he allowed to forgive himself for these terrible, terrible things, given the context and the situations that he in? We're looking at, we're looking at like, is it okay we're looking at the how, and the why. We're going deeper than the what happened. We want to know how it affected our character, how it changed his entire belief system. So before this, we have to obviously know what the Holocaust is. So there's a quick video here. There's also a quick PowerPoint. Now that said, please read this. It's a very long PowerPoint. You just want to do these slides and these slides, that's okay. But I encourage you to at least skim the other ones. Like you literally just, you can just scroll by it, look at it for a second. That's fine. But you have to read those other ones there. You need to understand the importance here of the transition from you cannot live among us as a Jew to you cannot live among us to you cannot live. That is the Holocaust. That is genocide in three things: identity, removal, death. So for everything here, there's lots of writing that's going to be involved with this after every section. That is going to be based on the rubric that we use for everything. This is the rubric we use for the entire course. It's on the front page of the introduction. If you're not sure, please make sure you read it before you start your writing. It's very important. If you ever want to know, like, how come I got a 4? I can send you that rubric. I keep track of them all. So there's a couple of resources here. There's the full text. There is a theme tracking sheet. This thing, I reference this in all of my videos. You do not have this printed out. You might have to do like a paper copy or something. You can even do like a digital one. You can type on here, blah, 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 blah. You can do that. Just make sure you're doing that. Again, look at the video for that. There is a study book. This was given to you. You were given this study book here. This study book, I'll briefly introduce you to it. Starts off with a couple of terminologies. If you don't know what a synagogue is, what a beetle is, what a quarantine is, that's how you can find that. Or you can just Google the word. There's a pre-reading journal. I want you to do this. It's not submitted. It's not for grades. I'm trusting you to do it. It will take you 2 minutes. Yes, no, or sometimes. That's what you're putting in each of those questions. Would you, under any circumstance, do anything to harm one of your parents or family member? There is no circumstance ever at all that you never do that. Maybe if your mom had a gun pointed at your dad or vice versa, you wouldn't do something to maybe try and intervene and harm someone. So there's 9 questions I want you to do that with. Here's a character list. Now in each chapter, there's 9 chapters in a preface. I have some questions here. I want you to go over these. These themselves are not submitted. That doesn't mean you can just be like, not for grades, I don't have to do it. No, you're going to be using this stuff for a lot of writing. So you need to still do this. And make sure that you understand it. It gives you evidence because you're going to come back 2 weeks later and it's like, oh, what did I do? What did I write here? You're going to come back 3 months later and like, oh, right, this is what happened. So you are setting yourself up for success if you do these questions. If you do not do these questions, and I go over a lot of them in the videos, you are setting yourself up for failure, okay? So make sure you do that. Now, after the questions, after chapter 9, You can ignore everything else that was given to you except the last 2 pages. I have written this actual assignment on the LMS, but this is where it comes from. So you are doing these last 2 pages as well as the final major assignment. Now on the LMS here, how it starts is, hey, read the preface or read what I tell you to read. Then watch the video. Now I am reading. This video is of me reading the preface in chapter 1. You are welcome to listen to it. I recommend that you follow along with it because sometimes I'll stop and be like, let's think about what we just read. Holy crap! He just did this terrible thing. So I do encourage you to have it on while you read, and I do follow you to follow in these chunks. They are chunked into 4 sections. If you don't, that's fine. You just do one chapter at a time. That's fine. But I really encourage you to do this if you can. You will need to have about 2 to 3 hours per session to do that. You are given 2 weeks for this module. You can do that. So that's it. If you're like, I'm sick of Matthew's voice, I don't want to listen to him read the movie or read the book or explain it. I have given you the timestamp. Go to those timestamps and watch that point onwards. So it's read it, watch it, respond to those questions, which you do not submit, and then I'll give you a blog where I want you to actually respond. Now, these are all graded based on that rubric. Be explicit and detailed. Give examples. Don't tell me what you think. Tell me why you think it and what led to that, and what motivated the character in this. You are giving me a lot of information here. Okay. This is really where we start to practice our writing because we are now focused on just one main character for a lot of times versus just like a 6 or 7 or 10-page short story. So read it, watch it, reflect, do your questions, do the blog. Boom, boom, boom. That happens 4 times. And then at the end of it, there is the novel study reflection. Now for this, and again, read this carefully. Read it carefully. You're picking one for section 1 and 2. You need to have complete and full sentences. It should be formal writing. You should be using quotes and references. You need to be referring to the text. Okay. I will put a video in here giving an example of this a little bit later. But you cannot just write a couple sentences and move on. You will do terrible on the rubric. You need to use evidence. This is what I think. This is why I think that. Here's the proof. This is what I think. This is why I think. Evidence. Okay? That's what needs to be happening here. So make sure that you do that for all of these sections, but especially this last major assignment here. Do not use AI for this. I will know. I promise you, I will know. It will be very easy to detect. This is a wonderful book. It is really engaging. I think you'll really like the book. All my students previously have liked the book, although it is a hard book. And not in the writing. The writing itself is easy, and it's not that thick of a book. It's a hard book because of the themes and what the story is about and what happens to our character. Oftentimes I have had students cry about it. It's brutal. So just make sure that you do that for this, please, please, please. If you have any questions, let me know. You're given 2 weeks for this. Don't last minute stuff.